The year is 525 BC. 50,000 men march through a sea of sand. Persian soldiers, the best in the world, they've conquered Egypt. Now they have one more task: destroy an oracle that dared to defy their king. They don't know it yet, but they're marching towards something worse than death. They're marching toward nothing. Their target is the Oracle of Amun, hidden in the Siwa Oasis, a sacred place where the god spoke through his priests. The priests had refused to recognize Cambyses as pharaoh. A mistake. The king's pride was wounded. And when a Persian king is wounded, armies move. 50,000 men, sent to erase a whisper. They've been marching for 7 days. The oases behind them are empty. Ahead, only sand. The men are exhausted. Their water is low. And then the wind changes. Not a breeze, but something else. A low hum. The sky begins to darken. The older soldiers exchange glances. They know what comes next. Then it hits. A wall of sand, 100 meters high, moving faster than any man can run. The sky turns black. Men scream, but the wind swallows their voices. They fall to their knees, covering their faces. The sand fills their mouths, their eyes, their lungs. Within minutes, the army disappears. When the storm passes, the desert is calm again. The sun returns. The dunes shift as if nothing happened. But something is different. The army is gone. 50,000 men, their horses, their weapons, their banners, all buried under the sand. The desert has swallowed them whole, and it will not give them back. For 2,500 years, people have looked for them. Archaeologists, adventurers, treasure hunters. They've found bones, weapons, jewelry. But the army itself? Still sleeping under the sand. Somewhere out there, 50,000 men are waiting to be found. Someone stands at the edge of the desert, looking into the endless dunes. The sand holds its breath. To understand the army, you must first understand the man who sent it. Cambyses II, son of Cyrus the Great, king of kings of the Achaemenid Empire. He inherited the largest empire the world had ever seen, from India to the Aegean. But one kingdom remained independent. One kingdom dared to resist: Egypt. In 525 BC, Cambyses marched. His army crossed the Sinai Desert with help from Arab allies who supplied water. At Pelusium, the gateway to Egypt, he met the forces of Pharaoh Psamtik III. The battle was brutal. Thousands fell. When it was over, Egypt belonged to Persia. Cambyses now ruled Egypt. He took the titles of the pharaohs: king of Upper and Lower Egypt, descendant of the gods. He adapted, as Persian kings knew how to do. But one challenge remained. A challenge not of armies, but of faith. The Oracle of Amun at Siwa had not submitted. And this, Cambyses could not forgive. The Oracle of Amun at Siwa was ancient, powerful, and dangerous. Its priests spoke for the god himself, and they had predicted that Cambyses' conquests in Africa would fail. A prophecy like that could not be ignored. If people believed the oracle, they might rebel. Cambyses understood. The oracle had to die. We don't know exactly when Cambyses made his choice, but we know what he did. He took 50,000 of his finest soldiers' men who had conquered Egypt, who had crossed deserts and fought kings, and he sent them west. Their mission: march to Siwa, destroy the temple, silence the oracle forever. They never returned. 50,000 men, the best army Persia could muster. They marched into the desert and vanished. No survivors. No messages. No bodies, just sand and silence. For 2,500 years, the question has remained, what happened to them? The desert knows, but the desert isn't telling. The army left Thebes and marched west. Their first stop, the Karga Oasis, 7 days away. They reached it. Herodotus confirms this. Then they continued into the unknown. Another 7 days? 14? No one knows. The desert has no landmarks, no roads, no mercy. Just sand, sun, and silence. 50,000 men need water every day. In this heat, a soldier drinks at least 5 liters. That's 250,000 liters per day. For a month-long march, 7.5 million liters. To carry it, they needed 20,000 camels. 1 animal for every 3 men. The logistics alone were a miracle. Then there's the heat. Daytime temperatures in the western desert can reach 50 degrees Celsius. No shade, just sun reflected off the sand. Men collapse, their skin burns, their minds blur. And if the heat doesn't kill you, the wind will. The Cambyses, a wall of sand moving at 140 kilometers per hour. For 2,000 years, no one looked for them. The desert kept its secret. Then, in the 1930s, explorers began to search. Laszlo Almasy, the real English patient, crossed the same sands. He found nothing. Ord Wingate tried in 1933. Nothing. The army was still sleeping. In 1983, Gary Chafetz arrived. Funded by National Geographic and Harvard, he spent months searching. His team found 500 burial mounds, but they were 1,000 years too old. Then he found a sphinx, and then he was arrested, charged with smuggling a plane. The expedition ended in scandal. In 2009, Italian archaeologists made a claim. Bronze weapons, a silver bracelet, an earring, hundreds of bones. Found near Siwa. Could this be the army? Egypt's chief archaeologist said no. No permit, no proof. The debate continues. 50,000 men are still out there, waiting. The problem with the story is Herodotus. He's the only one who tells it. No Persian records mention a lost army. No Egyptian inscriptions. No other Greek historian. Just one man writing 50 years later. Was he reporting facts or repeating a legend? In 2015, a Dutch historian proposed a different theory. Olaf Kaper suggested the army wasn't lost in a storm. They were defeated in battle by a rebel pharaoh named Pedibastus III. The Sandstorm was a cover story to hide a humiliation. Cambyses couldn't admit he lost, so he invented a storm. Dr. Mark Schwartz, a historian of ancient Persia, explains, we may never know the truth. The desert doesn't give up its dead easily. Every generation projects its own fears onto this story. For the Greeks, it was hubris. For us, it's the mystery. The army has become a mirror.
We see what we want to see.
So what really happened to the 50,000? Were they buried by sand? Slaughtered in battle? Or did they simply vanish into the desert? Their bones scattered by wind and time? 2,500 years later, we have theories, clues, suspicions, but no bodies. No proof, no answer. Someone stands where 50,000 once marched. The same sun, the same sand, the same silence. He looks out at the horizon, where the army disappeared. And for a moment, the desert feels alive. Not with soldiers, but with questions. Questions that have no answers, only echoes. 50,000 men, one desert, 2,500 years, and still no trace. The sand hides its secrets well, but maybe that's the point. Some stories aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to be asked. And as long as we keep asking, the army will never truly be lost.